In our last episode, we talked about a lot about pruning, like cutting things back, cutting things out. And it made me, it really made me think about what you've been going through in your business because God has been pruning things away in your business, which is very exciting. I'm just over here going, oh my gosh, look at what God is doing.
It is exciting.
But I
It's
wanted to give you a
yeah.
chance to kind of just talk about that. Welcome to the Heart and Soul Elevation Podcast, where faith meets wellness and women learn to live aligned, spirit, mind, and body. We're your hosts, Melissa Holman.
And Stephanie Pasniokis, two Jesus-loving women passionate about helping you steward your health without losing sight of the one who gave it to you.
Around here, healing happens in community.
Scripture leads the way, and science simply confirms what God designed.
Let's elevate your heart and soul together. You are a phenomenal health coach that you focus on the systems of the body. You understand the body in a way that anybody else I've ever talked to doesn't understand. And that comes from your neuroscience background. But you're also like this super techie person and very capable, very, very capable of doing whatever it is that you're putting your mind to. So you've built this business. It's a good business. It's thriving. I feel like it's thriving. It's doing really
Mm-hmm.
well. Um, but it hasn't quite hit it just yet. But I feel like the pruning that has been happening recently is setting you up for that beautiful growth that we know comes after a pruning. So tell us a little bit about what has been going on behind the scenes at SJP Health and Wellness.
Yeah. That's I wasn't expecting that question,
Hot
right?
seat. She's in the
Hot
hot
seat.
seat. She
Oh my
didn't know this
gosh.
was coming. Yeah.
I don't normally, this is something we don't talk a lot about what we do specifically on the podcast, but God is my CEO. Absolutely 100%. My faith is first in my business and how I approach it every day. And the more I've done that, the more I've put that into place, the more he's asking me to do things a little bit differently, things that don't necessarily make sense to my brain, but in the end makes all the sense in the world. And I do love complex systems. So it doesn't matter if it's a technical system, it doesn't matter if it's a biological system, it doesn't matter what. I love systems. I get some systems. So yes, you're right. On the back end of my business, when it comes to all the tech fun stuff and setting things up, whether it's a website or a program or whatever, I just love it. It's, you know, but the thing is the way I was running my business before was requiring so much physical hands-on time for myself that I couldn't spend the time with my clients in the way that I wanted. Like, and so it was limiting me. I had my clients, but I couldn't take more, right? Because I
There's
had,
only one you.
there's only one me. There's
And that's
only
the
one me.
that's the thing about being a solopreneur. Um, and there's no such thing as an overnight success. We're talking years and years and years of working and figuring things out and pivoting and pruning and all the things. But as a solopreneur, really it's all on me to get all of the things done. And people don't see that behind the scenes stuff. They just see the pretty things that we put out on social media or on the podcast.
It becomes
But
expected that you're just able to do this. And
mhm,
then, they say, oh, this person, look at how good all of their stuff is. Well, they probably have a team,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
And or they've hired things out, and I haven't done that. So one thing is God's really asked me to prune a lot of things financially. I should be a good steward of my money, right? And what's coming in. And so I've done that. Pruning a lot of things from my time, but also becoming more efficient. So putting systems in place that
mhm,
allow me to spend less time doing things that are more rote and automatic and can be automated, and being smart, work smarter, not harder, right? And while allowing myself the bandwidth to take more clients without just putting everybody into a group program, because I
mhm,
personally don't believe that is the best place to start. And but it's been uncomfortable. I've always want to be all things to all people. And, mostly I want to be what the people God brings me needs.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And
I want to move out of abstract because this feels like kind of abstract. We're just kind of
yeah, oh,
talking
I'm going to get into the
abstract topics.
specifics in a second. Yeah.
Well, but before we even get into the specifics, I don't know if people know exactly what you do.
Yeah. Well, so
So,
that's part of the story. Somebody
okay.
asked me that. And I was saying it, but it was so broad that it was difficult to actually communicate it. And that was the big aha moment from God. He's like, you need to prune out a lot of this other stuff. And because this is where I want you to focus. This is what you love.
Hmm.
This is, I know lots of things about the body, but what I really love is something that God brought me through too, which is the metabolic health piece. And you know what? That doesn't really necessarily cut out a lot of people, considering that 93% of the people in America don't have optimal metabolic health. That is the main problem in America. And what's underneath the metabolic health? Well, it's inflammation. What's
Hmm.
inflammation, right? So what I am really focusing on is helping people understand when they get a diagnosis of prediabetes or metabolic syndrome X or insulin resistance, if they get those diagnoses, or if they have all of the symptoms that are saying, hey, this is the case. Oh, I've got middle weight gain, I'm brain foggy, I've got gut disturbances, I've got it all ends up if you're putting weight on in the middle, which is where most people are at when they come to me, and they're unhappy about it because for a lot of reasons. But that's actually not the main problem. The main problem is why is that happening? And it happens in a lot of different ways. So this was the big ahas is that what's most important and what you're not going to get from a doctor's office, which God bless doctors, they can help you see that there's a thing, that there's a problem, right? They can give you, you can run labs and you can see what's happening, what the output is. But they do not have the time. And in some cases, in a lot of cases, the education, as I was talking to a doctor recently who actually is having me on her podcast to talk about exactly this stuff because she's came flat out and said that we're not taught this. I'm taught to prescribe. I'm taught, here's a lab, here's the prescription.
Hmm.
If you want this outcome, here's a prescription.
Hmm.
But that's it, right? However, in order to really undo this metabolic mess that we end up in, you have to understand how you got there, and the path to get there is very different. You can climb a mountain in a gazillion different ways.
Hmm.
You can get from California to New York in a lot of different ways. You can fly, you can take the train, you can RV it across the country and stop at all of the tourist spots. You can go south, you can go north. Like, what do you want to do? Right? Lots of different ways, and it's going to be individual for everybody. And that's kind of how you end up with a metabolic health problem. And in order to really understand how to fix it, because it is absolutely reversible, pre-diabetes and before um, is absolutely reversible. It's defined as reversible by the American Diabetes Association. Can you do type 2 diabetes too? Depending. Yeah, early phase, you definitely can. And then there's lots of information out there. It's not about me being a doctor. I'm not a doctor, but there's a lot you can do, but you can't know what to do if you don't know your patterns. So what I'm doing is writing a brand new workshop that is basically like, what is your pattern? How did you get here? Because whether you do anything else with me or not, that one thing is the thing that you're not going to find out from anyone. I don't know anybody that really does that. They'll figure out where you are and they'll kind of put a thing for you going forward and fixing
Hmm.
this and that and whatever. But I don't really know anybody who is literally sitting down with you and saying, let's figure out your pattern and the best place for you to start, and that takes all of you into consideration, what you care about, what your priorities are, what you like and don't like.
Hmm.
All of that has to go in it too. It's not just some protocol on paper that you get handed and you got to figure out how to do. That's
We
not how
take into consideration the entire terrain,
all of it.
all of it. Yep.
And that's your mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, um, who God made you to be, the whole you. It's all part of it. And so that is where I'm going. And it's a very simple path. It's the workshop, it's follow up, one-on-one. Then once you've had that, we use tools, we get geeky with it, we get into the science of who you are, but we are also um, understanding how to make you successful in getting where you want to go.
Mhm.
And then um, there's an opportunity for the group program to keep things moving and then work with other people, develop a community and a connection around people who've already been through what you just went through, and you're now supporting each other, right? You've gotten that triage done, you know how the program works. And then after that, you have an opportunity to just have those light touches. And I don't drop people like hot potatoes, is what I like
Mhm.
to say. And it's a very clean thing. I was trying to do this so many different ways before to try to be all things to all people, and I couldn't be anything to anybody.
That's what I was just going to say. Like I've watched your journey for a couple of years now. And I watched you go from having all of these things that people could choose from and a smorgasbord of opportunities. And I just remembered this was what, just about a month ago we met and I said, I don't understand how to work with you and I know what you do. And I think that kind of might have been a aha moment
It was the starting
for
point.
you.
And I said to myself, I'm like, and I always had the problem. Somebody's like, how do I work with you? I'm like, well, there's a lot of ways. Let's just chat and see what the best fit is for you. And it's like, and then it ends up being, oh, you do this, or, and if you do
Yeah.
it
And
this way,
it's
here's
just,
this link. If this way, it's this link. And it's just,
it's too much.
and it's not that people didn't work with me. Absolutely, they did. It was
Yeah.
very, I mean, there was always something
But to
clear,
be
but
able
this,
to walk into a room and say, this is what I do,
and here's how I
and
do it. And here's
here's
your
how
next
I do
step.
it,
Easy
is
for
so,
you, easy for me.
yes. And it's that pruning from the last episode. It's that pruning that God did piece by piece, right? This pruning did not happen in one setting, right? One sitting, right? It took time. It took time to go, well, that can be done differently, or that could be done differently. And then this, and then that. And then you had like one sit down with another coach somewhere, and they were like, it's time. Pick your path. This is the path. This is how it works now. And when you realized that, when you realized that, oh my gosh, it can be this simple, like what opened up for you in that
Well,
moment?
I mean, have you ever had a haircut and then walked out feeling like you were going to float off the ground? You're just like, ooh, I feel really light. That is kind of how it felt. It just felt so light and it was freeing. And so, yes, we're talking about my business, and this is an example of how it all can happen. Um, but at the same time, was it a little painful? Did I have to say like, oh, I have to let certain things go that I put a lot of time and effort into? Yes. Okay, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And I remember we talked about that. And every time, just for those who are listening, anytime we go through one of these up levels in a business, it feels like, oh my gosh, I am going back to ground zero. I have to start all over again. But that's not the case. We're now at level 2.0 instead of 1.0, right?
Yeah, or 3.0,
Right. And
as the case may be.
we still have all of that stuff available to us that we've built along the way.
It's still
And
there. It's still
and
being used.
that was the foundation, right? We have to
Yeah.
have it. We have to build a foundation before we can build a house, right? You have to have that foundation, and all of those things that we go through, all the changes that we make, all the pivots that we make, all the, throw that away, pull this in, pull that in. That's what makes it possible to get to this point where you go, this is it. This is how
Yeah.
it works.
I mean, honestly, it was even on the back end, right? I got rid of a whole bunch of different, technological business tools that required monthly payments and that I had to cobble together to make them talk and work and play nice, which I do because I can do that, whereas a
And you
lot of
love
people
doing
don't
it.
have the capability of doing it.
Right. But you
I
also
could.
love doing it. You
Yeah.
love that stuff. I mean, so for you, it was like, ooh, this is fun. But I remember one of the very first conversations that you and I had at the retreat where we met. I said, you're stuck in the reeds. All
Hmm.
of that stuff was like, when Moses was placed in the reeds. And you can't
Hmm.
see anything beyond that when you're in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh.
Yeah.
Because the tech stuff is fun for you. The tech stuff is you enjoy it. It's not a for a lot of people, it's a
Oh, it's
stumbling
safe.
block. Yeah, and it's so safe. Oh, it's so safe. Fear of success is a real thing. Just in case those listening don't know that. It can keep you stuck in the reeds. But
Yeah.
you pruned all those things away, said nope, 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 we're not doing that
Yeah,
anymore. We're going to
I have new
simplify
back
it
end. I
and
have
make
a
it.
new way of being able to serve my clients through an
Yep.
app that I mean, I've gotten feedback from my clients who's like, this is so easy. It's not overwhelming at all. And
That's
all I have to do
incredible.
is say yes, yes, no, like answer some, like it's very simple. It allows me to see at a glance what's happening across all of my clients. For me, this is so important. I'm not chasing down emails over here and texts over there and messaging over there and a Facebook. Like seriously, one spot is my whole entire business. My whole entire business exists on the back end in one spot and on the front end in another. I can see everything. And at the beginning, not everybody has to start there because it can be expensive. But for me, it was absolute perfect timing. And because God is awesome, I managed to get into each of these things like right at a point where there's a special, there's a merge, there's a this, there's a that. And there's like
There's a grandfathering clause for
all kinds of
the
things, you name
yes.
it. And I'm
Yep.
just like, this is amazing. And God, you're so awesome. And I couldn't have planned this if I even knew it was coming. I couldn't have
Yep.
planned the perfect timing.
Yeah.
And so I don't, I like our podcasts to be, about things that others can take forward with them as well. And so yes, there's a lot of really exciting things happening in my business. Yes, if you feel like you've got some metabolic turmoil happening and your energy is low and and especially if perimenopause or menopause is gunking it all up, but you don't even have to be there. It can be any time, but you're getting, you've got the brain fog or that low energy and the weight coming in the middle and the what the heck is going on or whatever. Let's chat. Seriously, I've got a workshop that's getting ready to drop that you're gonna want. Um, Aside from that, this is a big thing, right? This is my livelihood. What is God asking for you in whatever it is for you? I can tell you that God has taken me out of jobs that I loved to move me to the next place, and that was terrible and hard and pruny because again, when I say pruny, I mean cutting things out, right?
Yeah.
Making it untenable to be in that environment, selling the company off multiple times. I almost feel like don't hire me because you're going to end up selling. You're going to end up doing like it's not going to go well. You've got about 4 years before you end up selling the company and start.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case, but it has happened every single
And
time.
it does feel like that sometimes. Yeah.
That
I'm the catalyst. That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. But really, it's that God knew that, hey, if you're too comfortable here, you're not going to move into the next part that I have for you, the next great thing that I have for you. And you're going to need to learn that thing for the thing that I have for you when you open your own business. Who knew?
Right. And Jeremiah, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, plans for a hope, plans for a future. But I can't get you there if you're in your way.
Yes. Yes. And if you're too comfortable sitting in the boat, you're not going to walk on water. So sometimes he dumps the boat.
Yes. But I really just wanted people to hear your personal pruning story because, we just talked about it on the last podcast and you've been going through it. So it's not an abstract concept that we talked about. It's real life. It's happening. It's still happening for you.
It's real life. It's happening in my
Yeah.
business. It's happening with my community and connections and the relationships that I'm forming with people in my life that I have space for. And that's the thing. If my business didn't get pruned, I'd have no space for those,
Yeah.
right? Bigger fruit in my business, more space for those healing relationships, like get the big broad leaves that are healing and feeding my life. That's the
Yeah.
connection. That's the community. Healing happens in connection and community. And from that, the fruit is born, whatever it is, whether you're in business for yourself or not, whatever that fruit is going to look like in your life. And so allowing God to work in our lives in radical ways and be in charge and giving him that every day has been absolutely amazing, life-changing. I have been a Christian since I was 17 and I am 50 now. Yes, a woman tells her age. I am 50. And I feel like in the last year, year and a half, um, maybe 2 years, I guess. It has been most of my I don't know. It's a whole new era in my walk with God. Um, because all of this that we're talking about has become real in a very tangible way in my life. And I can't possibly be more grateful and more in love with my Father in heaven than I am.
Yeah. So as we close out this podcast today, I would love for you to just share with the listeners, like, who is it that you serve? How do you serve them? And how could they possibly work with you?
Okay. I should be able to answer this now because all the pruning that's happened.
Yes,
Uh,
that's why I wanted to do it this way.
you're so funny. So really, honestly, if I don't want you to die of something that's absolutely reversible. These diseases of chronic inflammation are the main reasons that top causes of death today, and that all comes down to a metabolic health um, problem. And so, if you've been diagnosed with prediabetes, I don't want that to be the end point. I don't want that to be the long road to a slow decay. If you know it, if you know you're insulin resistant, if you know you've got metabolic syndrome, if you know you've got prediabetes and you've been given a piece of paper by a doctor to say, here, do these things, and you don't even know where to start and it seems impossible, that is where you need someone who can walk alongside you and help you backtrack on the path that got you there and start taking the other one, right? Um, and we do that using fun tools if that's what you're interested in, but continuous glucose monitoring is a really fantastic tool. It's not just for diabetics. We do one-on-one intensive coaching that brings you step by step in a way that feels stupid easy. That's what I like to say. You're like, what? I'm doing that? That's all you ask? That's all? You mean I don't have to go and dump all my food and go to the store and replace my whole entire kitchen? Nope, not at all. You don't have, it's supposed to be a lot easier than that. God designed you in a very specific way, and that's what we work with. And so you work through that whole entire program. We do the CGM again at the end. You get to say, "Oh my gosh, look at all the wonderful things that are happening." I just got a message from my client in the app today, one of my clients, and said, somebody from work just said, "Oh my gosh, you've lost a lot of weight. Look at you. What are you doing?" And she's like, "I don't feel like I've lost a lot of weight, but man, everything fits better." She has so much more energy, and she's just so excited that somebody else noticed and that she's able to wear clothes she hasn't worn in years that were at the bottom of her closet. The just in case one day pile. That's what I want you to wear that again. I want you to be able to do things you've never thought you'd do, or do things again that you used to love and haven't been able to do. So maybe that wasn't short enough, but I hope it was visceral enough because that's because I want you to have your life back. And I don't want you to be defined by illness. That isn't who you are. God's body and designed for you. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. So let's lean on that, right? Um, my website is sjphealthwell.com.
And that's
And
step one, right? Step
that's
one, just
step one.
go
Go to the
schedule.
website. The new workshop is going to be up there soon, but even before that, there's a free essential health assessment. Do it. It's free.
What do you
Can't
got to
lose
lose?
anything. Figure out where you are. We'll start figuring out what pattern brought you where you are.
Excellent.
That's it.
And when
That's the
that
next step.
workshop goes live, we will definitely be letting everybody know so that you can sign up and learn your pattern.
Yeah, should be.
Figure out what got you where you are.
It might already be out. By the time we air this, it's probably already on the website. So there you go.
There you go. All right. Well, Stephanie, thank you for sharing your pruning journey. I appreciate you so much. Love what you're doing in the world and how you're doing it, because like I said, I really don't know anybody else who understands systems, the body system, the way that you do, and make it, and is able to make it stupid simple.
Yeah,
so
diets don't work. We know that.
Science does. Thanks for joining us for today's conversation on Heart and Soul Elevation.
If this episode encouraged you, tell us about it in the comments and share it with a friend. Remember that healing happens in community.
Be sure to subscribe to the show and click the bell so you never miss an episode. And come back to join us for more faith first conversations where we grow together in real time.
Until then, keep your eyes on Jesus, care for the body he gave you,
and may his peace guard your heart and mind.